Grow an existing or manage your personal finances? Your search stops right here. Join Mukonke Mukonkela from Inside Partners Africa every Tuesday at just 7:20 hours on the Dalama Inside Business Show, a program that gives you the best and most practical, actionable insights. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ndalama Insights Radio Show. And of course, my name is Leslie Nyangwe. With me, as always, is our regular financial expert, Mr. Mukonki Mukonkela. Today, we'll be discussing some key personal finance numbers that can help you measure and track your financial success. Mukonki, it is a good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Leslie. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Zambia was knocked out. But we did a good job regardless, right?
Yeah, my 200 kwacha is gone.
It's gone.
I almost made it 400 kwacha. Yeah. But that's like my contribution, so it's okay.
But they did play really well. Morocco wasn't an easy team.
But that's the problem. We only played well in the last game. It's akin to what we're talking about investments. No matter how much you push in your 50s, if you missed your 20s, it's very hard. So right now, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, please do listen to this.
You need to catch up.
Because if you start early, by the time you're in your 50s, your friends won't understand why you have so much disposable income.
Exactly.
So do your homework early, because it's very difficult when you reach that stage.
I like that analogy.
Many of our listeners have goals, around improving their financial situation. That's whether getting out of debt, saving up for a big purchase, or building long-term wealth. What are some of the most important numbers they should know and monitor related to their personal finances?
Thank you, Leslie. So there are a few numbers that are important when you are on this journey to financial freedom, or when you just want to make some money that you can live off for the rest of your life. And these numbers that we're going to look at, Leslie, are not really to scare you. I know they're quite. I was looking at my own personal numbers and I was like, what? Is that how much I need? So let's start with the first one that I think is important. And this is your net worth. Net worth is a number that looks at how much you own against how much you owe. So if you look at everything you own in your life, your houses, probably even your cars, your investments in treasury bills and government bonds, the cash at the bank. What else can we look at? Your investments in the stock market, in the shares, your investments in unit trusts. Those are your assets. And then when you compare that to what you owe, your debt, all the debt that you owe to the financial institutions, to the micro lending institutions, maybe even to your family and friends. So if you look at the comparison between your assets minus your liabilities, that gives you your net worth. So net worth is simply the difference between what you own minus what you owe. That shows you how much you are worth. This is a very important number to know because it shows you, what kind of investments you should be making so that you can increase your net worth. The key the aim for you is to ensure that you are increasing your net worth. And for you to increase your net worth, it simply means you need to make investments in assets, less so borrowing from rather increasing your debt. That is what net worth is, and it's a very important number for you to be checking once in a while. Check how much you own against what you owe. That shows what you are worth. And in fact, this this number I hear is the number that rich people talk about when they are hanging out, chilling, in these nice fancy hotels and bars and restaurants. They're talking about what is your net worth. They're not really talking about your income, your salary. They're talking about what are you worth. So this is a good number for you to look at, Leslie. I don't know what you are worth. I'm still hanging on a little bit there.
Yeah, we haven't reached the point where I don't know if I'm positive yet,
Uh-huh.
as in positive trajectory.
Yeah.
I think I'm still a bit in the negative. But we are no, we crossed the negative. It's positive, but it's not much.
Exactly.
It's not what it's supposed to be.
No, but this is why we're having this program, right?
Mhm.
We are having this program so that we know, oh, I'm actually in the negative, I'm just slightly above positive. Where do I need to be? And then you start making appropriate decisions.
Now, retirement planning is a key aspect of personal finance. But Mukofi, can you shed light on the number you need to retire and break down the components that go into determining that number?
Thank you. So retirement is something that we've been talking about recently because of the NAPSA partial withdrawal discussions that had been going around. People now know what retirement really is because of these contributions that they had been making that they're now able to withdraw. Now you need to know what amount you need in your retirement. So how much money do I need for me to live off if I had to stop working today? If I had to stop working today, how much money will I need to live off for the rest of my life? So you need to look at where you are. What is my age? Am I 40 years old? And then estimate how long will I live? Maybe I'll live 60 more years. I'll live up to 100. And we're being very optimistic, right? I'll live up to 100. So if I'm 40 years and I quit my job today, I remain with how many years to live in my retirement? I remain with about 60 years, right? So 60 multiplied by the lifestyle that you have currently and how much you spend on a monthly or on an annual basis. Let's say on an annual basis, you spend 50,000, right? And you're projecting to live 60 years after retirement. So your number will be 50 by 60, right? Isn't it? How much is that, Leslie?
Like 50 by 60.
Yeah, so 50 by 60. So 50,000. Let's assume your annual expenses are 50,000 and you project to live 60 more years after
About
retirement.
3 million.
So you will need 3 million at least to live off for the rest of your life. And this is before considering inflation. But then we can also factor in inflation. That is why investments also become very important. So if you know your 3 million, you know that for me to live off this for the rest of my life, I will need for it to not lose its value in terms of depreciation because of inflation. So you need to invest it so that it maintains its buying power or its strength for the rest of your life. So that is another number you need to look at, Leslie. Yes.
Quite a lot going on. Now, savings are the cornerstone of financial stability. But Nkoki, can you explain the importance of the savings rate and provide an example to illustrate its impact?
Thanks, Leslie. So when it comes to savings are very important because if you're able to set aside a small amount of money from your income, that is the only assured way of ensuring that one day you can stop your job, you can be fired, anything can happen to you, but you can still survive. It is because of savings. So setting aside money and ensuring that that money is invested. This is something we've been talking about regularly on this program, Leslie, and will continue until it's drilled in. And I think it is going through. I keep receiving a lot of feedback. In fact, let me shout out to a colleague of mine who's been calling me from Chilila Wombwe, Timothy. He's like, yes, Mamuko, I've been hearing you on the radio, and therefore, I'm a bonds. I am a bonds. So you see, people are getting it. How do I start buying IAMA bonds? So people are getting it. And when you look at savings, it is setting aside a small amount of money. So if you get it doesn't matter how much you get. The key point is set aside a small amount. You can say, let me set aside 10% or 20% of my salary. So whenever I get paid, if I get paid maybe 1,000 kwacha, 10% has to go into a bank account as a saving. I should not touch it. And that 10% is 100 kwacha of 1,000, isn't it? So you only have 900 kwacha to spend. And that should be, a discipline that you install in yourself. Ensure that you follow it regularly. So that is what savings is. And it's a very important, knowing what this number is for you is important. So just look at your salary and determine how much you can afford to be saving. Is it 20%? Is it 10%? And stick to that number, because having enough money saved will enable you to start investing, let's say in government bonds, which you can start by 1,000 kwacha, by the way, or in unit trusts, or even on the stock market. So, and it is actually the most assured way to financial independence. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we'll take a short break, but right now you are listening to Ndalama Insights. Of course, today we're looking at personal finance numbers to know how to measure financial success. With me in the studio is Mokonki. Mokonki. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. You are still listening to the Ndalama Insights Business Show, brought to you by Insight Partners Africa. Leave your comment or question on Mukonki, the Mukonki's YouTube channel. And Ndalama Insights, turning your challenges into actionable insights. That's right. This is the Dalama Insights Radio Show, and of course, we are with Mukonki Mukonkela. And today we're looking at personal finance numbers to know to measure financial success. Now, financial independence is a dream for many, Mukonki. Can you guide our listeners through the concept of the financial independence number and provide an example to sort of make it tangible?
Thanks, Leslie. We all want to be financially independent. For me, financial independence buys me the freedom to spend time however I want, to do the work that I enjoy doing, not because it's an obligation. And so we should all aim to attain financial independence. Financial independence does not mean you becoming wealthy, the richest man in the world, or breaking records. It's not about that. It is really about buying your freedom to do whatever you want to do. So that number is very personal. No one can tell you what this number is. It is up to you. So if it is a personal number, it all goes to what are you comfortable with? What are you content with? What can I live with on a monthly basis for the rest of my life? I think it ties in really well with your retirement number as well. So it is a number that you determine for yourself. If I want to stay in Northmead for the rest of my life and my rentals, or if I buy a house, or let's just say my rentals are 4,000 kwacha, and I want to do this for the rest of my life, and maybe just incorporate some kind of regular increment in my rentals that also affects my financial independence number, then I need to project how much do I need. Okay. And then the financial independence number is a number that you need to calculate that will allow you to say, if I had to stop working today, can I live off this money that I've saved? That's why you hear of people that talk about I've reached financial independence. You see, when they say I've reached financial independence, they're simply saying I've got enough money to live for the rest of my life. I do not need to go for work. I can stay in my house and still live off that money. It goes back to your expenses. Look at your lifestyle, your expenses, multiply that by the number of years you don't want to work. That will give you your financial independence number. This is a very important number as well for those of us that want to venture the world. I really want to go see the world, Leslie.
And you have time, right?
You have to, if you can attain financial independence. I would love to go to Ghana to see those slave trade, what is it called, Robin Highlands. I would love to go see those places, but I cannot do that if I'm not financially independent. For me to travel the world, I need to have saved money, and for me that's a big that's one of my life what it's not a New Year's resolution, it's a life resolution to travel the world and see very important places that have been recorded in history. Slave trade for me is something that I've been reading about recently. I would love to go through, Ghana, what's the other place, Sierra Leone, and just go see those lovely places. And I can't do that without being financially independent.
So you need to be financially independent. And that's why you find our friends will travel in their old age and they just travel the whole world, basically
Yeah.
enjoying old age.
Yes.
It's a way to enjoy old age. Our
Exactly.
Zambian old age is sitting at the farm every day. But yeah,
Well, my mom is a
if it
farm.
works, it's good for you.
My mom is a farm person, and I love farming too. But for me, it's not really. I would rather go see the world
Yeah,
than
very
be
nice.
at the farm. Sorry, though, the farmers. I love farming though, but it's not really my cup of tea.
Okay. All right. Now, before we wrap up, perhaps you can just, tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you if they have any questions, they would like to hear, get some advice from you, and, just basically get in touch with Mkonki.
So the best way to get in touch with me really is through Facebook. No, 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 not Facebook. Sorry, YouTube. So find my YouTube channel, because there I actually interact with my subscribers. I respond to comments and we engage. When there's a requisition for a video, I record it and we share insights and just chill out. So I think for me, YouTube is the best place. But if you've got access to my number, which you can find, you can always WhatsApp me. You can give me a call. We can always chat anytime. I'm available most of the times.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up today's episode of Vendalama Insights. A big thank you to Mukonki for breaking down the essential personal finance numbers. And next week, we continue our journey towards financial empowerment with a focus on what your net worth should be at your age. This should be a very interesting one. So until then, stay financially informed and make every dollar count. I'm Leslie, signing off until next Tuesday. Mukonki, good morning.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Indalama Insights Business Show. brought to you by Inside Partners Africa. If you